Hello everybody and welcome back to round number 8 of the season 3 of 2013 career mode, and we're here at the British Grand Prix. It is my home Grand Prix, it's the team's home Grand Prix as well. That brilliant victory we managed to get in Canada, overtaking Sebastian Vettel around the outside of turn 7 on the final lap, reminiscent of what Jenson Button did in the exact same place in the 2011 version of the Grand Prix. It means we're only 24 points off the lead, but Vettel does still have that lead. Alonso 3 points behind him, and there's James Early in 3rd place, ahead of his teammate Kimi Raikkonen. We actually got a Lotus 1-2 in the last episode. If you've not seen that episode, I honestly suggest you go watch it, because it was a ridiculous finish to a Grand Prix that at one point we had no hope of finishing in a good result or a good position. In the constructors, Mercedes now lead Lotus. Like Lotus 1-2 means we're up to 2nd ahead of Red Bull. We're still yet to see Haas or Sauber score points, but Benetton have 3 points to their name. It's sunny for Silverstone this weekend, so let's see how things pan out. The weekend starts with a practice session, and we've got an R&D objective where I need to complete 3 laps under a target time whilst not using DRS but running rich mix. Very elaborate, I don't know why, but we're going to do that. Hopefully we get a boost to performance. 35.8 for the first lap, 34.4 for the second, and now we're on the 3rd lap. Almost made contact there with the Mercedes. And across the line for the final lap, it's a 33.8. We've completed the practice program. Now it's time to jump into qualifying. So Silverstone is a circuit I've struggled at big time in the past in various Codemasters games, and 2013 has been no different as far as I can recall. So I'm expecting this to be a tough weekend. Here we are in qualifying 1 on the prime tyres. Not sure what it is specifically about Silverstone that the AI enjoys so much, but the Codemasters AI around this track are just so quick. I remember especially 2010, they were ridiculously quick. I don't think I ever got a good result there. Up towards the line we go with our first lap as Hamilton sets a 32.3. It's a 33.4 from early. He's in 4th position. I think it will be quick enough to squeeze through to Q2, so there's no need to do another lap. And at the conclusion of the first part of qualifying, it is the 2 Mercedes at the top, with Raikkonen in 3rd. And you'll notice Early not in the top half of the table. He's down in 13th position. With that 1.1 second off the fastest time. Luckily though, the bottom 3 teams are so far off the pace that we easily make it through. Van Dorn, Nasser, Ericsson, Bottas, Gutierrez and Wehrlein, the drivers knocked out. So Gutierrez once again not last on the grid. Thankfully we didn't have to use any of the option sets in that first part of qualifying. We were through on the prime, so we've definitely got an extra pair of options, or pair shall I say, set of options to use in either Q2 or Q3. As we set a purple sector 1. The things are looking nice and handy right now. So we wait to see what the sector 2 time is. It's once again purple. So maybe we do have a good turn of pace on the options. And rounding the final corner, let's see if it's purple overall. It's 2nd overall, so it's the 3rd sector we're losing time. And Alonso a 10th quicker with a 32 flat. I think though, those AIs on the options, like the Mercedes, the Lotus, they're going to go quicker. Well, they didn't go much quicker if they did improve. Alonso a 32 flat. Vettel of 32 flat, and Hamilton also 32.0, and Early and Raikkonen 4th and 5th for Lotus, only a 10th off the fastest time. We're definitely in with a shout of pole position. Magnussen gets knocked out at the expense of Sergio Perez. Carlos Sainz ahead of Max Verstappen. Hulkenberg and Ricciardo split by the Marussia of Will Stevens. They're all knocked out of qualifying 2. We have time for 2 back-to-back flying laps in this final stages of qualifying with a new set of option tyres on the car. It's a 31.697 from Alonso, so that's about 3 and a bit tenths quicker than he did in Q2, and that'll be the target. I think with a really good lap I can get into the 131s, but pole position possibly out of the question. Felt like a fairly steady sector 1, and it was. 10th and a half down on Alonso. Full commitment there through Magnus, Beckett and Chapel. Onto the hanger straight we go, and across the timing line, 2 tenths down on the fastest. It could be a front 2 rows of the grid if we can hook up the final sector. Around the final corner, has Early delivered the goods for his home fans? No, it's 10th. Wow, okay, we lost loads of time in the final sector. We'll go again. Surprising to see how much time we lost there in the final sector. About 7 tenths. Green in the first sector on the second run. And through the timing line in the second sector, we're up by about a 10th on my previous best. There's a much tidier final sector. Hopefully it's not last place in qualifying 3, and it's 5th place. That's the best we're going to be able to do here. A 6/10th improvement. Only just breaking into the 31s. It was just about 2 tenths quicker than what I did in Q2. So really not finding the increase in performance that you usually find in qualifying from Q1, Q2 and Q3. Alonso on pole, and he's alongside Kimi Raikkonen with Hamilton and Vettel on row 2. I'm alongside the second Red Bull of Rosberg, who's been absolutely nowhere really this season so far. He's had a few retirements. Robert Kubica and Will Power on row number 4, and then it's Jules Bianchi and Sergio Perez rounding out the top 10. I think the objective should be to consolidate where we qualified, which was 5th. Because I really had to push on that lap to achieve that 5th place. And I imagine the race pace for the AI is going to be pretty strong. 52 laps today. And we're going for a 2-stop strategy. Option, prime. Well, there's only one more thing to do. And that's go racing. The 2013 British Grand Prix is next. Fairly short run down towards turn 1. And the first corner will be flat. Although I imagine some of the AI are actually going to back off. Especially if they're on the inside. 5 lights are on. And we are underway here for the British Grand Prix. Hamilton getting a strong start up ahead. He's already moving past Kimi Raikkonen. As up through the gears we go. I'm sandwiched between 2 drivers. One on my right, one on my left. Through that flat first corner, we actually do lift. And Raikkonen's got a terrible start. And that's Hamilton challenging his teammate Alonso into the 3rd corner. Up the inside he goes to take the race lead in front of the home fans. Around the outside I go with Sebastian Vettel through turn 4. It might be 2 British drivers on the podium right now. And it is, with the 2 Mercedes leading out front. Alonso's got a terrible run though onto the Wellington straight, and that's going to leave him vulnerable to James Early, who's challenging. No DRS enabled yet, of course. It's only lap 1. Around the outside goes Early, but it's a big lock up. He's kept it on the circuit, and now it's Hamilton first and Early in second. What a start. Gonna move my brake bias to the rear. It happened on the first run in Q3 where I locked the tyre going into the final sector, the heavy braking zone, and I moved the brakes to the rear for the second run, and it was much improved. So I'm going to do that for the race as well. Already flat spots on the front tyres after that lock-up when overtaking Alonso. As we complete lap 1, Alonso tucked up behind the gearbox of Early, and Hamilton stretching his legs out front. And even though he's not had the strongest start to the season, we cannot discount Hamilton from challenging for this championship. Right now it seems to be between Alonso, Vettel and Early, but Hamilton, I'm sure he's going to pick up victories here and there, and he might still be in the fight come the end of the season. On a nice clean lap, we are pretty much matching the pace of Hamilton, although we are out of DRS range as it is lap 3, so DRS is enabled. Alonso though with DRS is going to challenge down the Wellington straight. This is where I overtook him on lap 1, and Alonso, the Spaniard's going to go around the outside. Still side by side. He'll have the inside line for this right-hander. Can't remember the name of the corner. And ahead goes the Mercedes. Sebastian Vettel now next up behind. Can we fight back at Alonso though on the run towards Copse Corner? We've used our curves for the lap. We'll pull side by side with the Mercedes. The 2-time world champion on the outside. Early up the inside into Copse to retake that place. As the Williams of Valtteri Bottas has dropped out the race. So we're down to 21 runners. And Will Power I can see in 5th place. Ahead of my teammate Kimi Raikkonen in 6th. And in 5th place of course is Sebastian Vettel. Or 4th place should I say. I think Hamilton's just going to pull away during this first stint, and the 2-stop strategy we're on might turn out to be a 3-stop because I can already feel the tyres starting to go off. It's only lap 4. The gear ratios were pretty perfect for the qualifying session, but in the race they seem a tad bit too long, which might come back to bite us as the race progresses. Yeah, really starting to slide out some of these corners now as Hamilton is lapping about 7/10 quicker than me per lap. And Alonso running on full revs as his teammate Hamilton continues to set the pace. I've just set my personal best lap, and yeah, it is about 7/10 slower than Hamilton. And here goes Alonso. He's looking to attack. He's got the outside line again for this left-hander. I can't remember the name of the course. I think it might be Luffield, or maybe this is Luffield. You can tell me down in the comments how incorrect I am. Once again, we have to defend down the Hangar Straight, or Wellington Straight. I think it's the Wellington Straight. And around the outside goes Alonso. Can he make it stick this time? Early's going to not give him much room at all. But Alonso does make it through. Can Early get that switch back? He's hit the back of Alonso. Alonso losing control of the car briefly. And that gives Early the position. Oh, I'm all over the place. So much understeer now. I'm surprised these drivers haven't actually got through. It's lap 7 and look at the traffic behind. It's an Early train right now. As Hamilton is now 5 seconds up the road. It's lap after lap after lap. Alonso attacking down into the same corner. And lap after lap, Early doing enough to defend the position. The front left already severely worn. And we're only halfway through the stint. I think this might have to be switched into a 3-stop race. New plan. I'm thinking we box lap 10 for primes. Then lap 26 for primes. And then lap 42 for the options again. and that'll be the 3-stop strategy. For those unaware of F1 2013's tyres, in the real life season the tyres wore incredibly quickly, and in the game that's been reflected. It is really severe, the tyre wear. And here goes Alonso again. I'm using curves to try and defend, but the DRS on that Mercedes working beautifully. Still Alonso cannot squeeze through. I think Hamilton is also on a 3-stop as wide I go at Cops, and off the circuit in this game it just applies the brakes on your car, and through goes Alonso. Surely he's not making a move there. That would have been the riskiest of moves, and he backs out of it. Yeah, you go slightly off the circuit, it'll apply the brakes. You have no choice, which is a very frustrating feature in these old Codemasters games. I'm glad that doesn't exist anymore. As we box on lap 10 from 2nd place for a set of the prime tyres, and rejoining here down in 16th position. We've got a bit of traffic up ahead. Hopefully we can make our way through it pretty swiftly. Alonso now, he's got clear air, setting the fastest lap to the race, and he'll be closing in on his teammate Hamilton. First up, Daniel Ricciardo in the Benetton, and this will be for 15th place. Maybe I can look to the inside here of turn 3, and that's what we're going to do. Avoid locking the tyres, and up we go into 15th. Magnussen next up, and a great run that we have down the hanger straight here towards Stowe Corner. And I'll look to the inside of the McLaren, who doesn't actually have his DRS open. And we've sized our way through into 14th. Will Stevens, maybe just a risky move into turn 1, why not? 2 British drivers going wheel to wheel, and that'll please the fans. Just a few corners later, and it is Hulkenberg now trying to defend from James Early. Hulkenberg, who got a podium here in real life in the 2025 season, is no match for Early here in 2013. Well, I suppose it's 2015, isn't it? Season 3 of 2013. Tucked up behind Kubica here. We'll have DRS, and this should be an easy move. Down this back straight, and it is. We're up to 11th place. Still, none of the front runners are pitting. So I think maybe we're actually the only one on a 3-stop strategy. And surprisingly, that's the fastest lap of the race. So maybe this strategy could actually work out as long as these tyres last the 16-lap stint that I want it to. We do have a lot of clear air to drive into here because it's 11.5 to the lead Ferrari of Bianchi. And that's for the final points position. As we set another fastest lap, we're almost into the 135s and we start lap 15. This was our original pit stop lap, and I imagine a lot of the drivers in front are going to be stopping at the end of this one. And now I think that's Lewis Hamilton, the race leader, into the pits, or at least Fernando Alonso. One of the Mercedes are in, and my teammates in as well, alongside a few other drivers. We'll be jumping right back inside the points here. And Vettel into the pits as well. We're up to 5th place at the moment. I have a feeling the Mercedes who pit has rejoined in front of me. No, surprisingly, it was Alonso, and he's rejoined behind. So my fastest laps have worked. We're ahead of Fernando Alonso. And now that's Hamilton and the rest of the top 5 into the pits. As we set another fastest lap of the race, we're going to be back up to 2nd place. Hamilton surely is going to rejoin. No, we're ahead of Hamilton. We've jumped them all. We're in 1st place. And Alonso has also got the jump on his teammate. So Lewis Hamilton, surely that must have been a slow stop from the Mercedes crew. No way he's lost that amount of time. Well, they're both going to be much quicker than me already. Alonso is filling up my mirrors. And I imagine if I'm not here, he'll be setting the fastest lap to the race. Thankfully, the AI drivers don't get such a great run onto the hanger straight down towards Stowe. So that just gives me a little bit of respite. It's really the Wellington straight I've got to be worried about. 35.4 from Alonso. Imagine how much quicker he could have gone if I wasn't in the way. So it's early Alonso, Hamilton, Vettel, Raikkonen after the first round of stops. If it stays like this, Alonso will retake the championship lead as he's outscoring Vettel by 6 points. And he might be outscoring Vettel by even more. There goes Fernando Alonso. Backs out of the move once again. Like I said earlier on when he tried that, there would have been essentially both of us out of the race with a crash like that. And this is the closest he's been. He's challenging maybe to the inside, maybe to the outside, but he decides better of it. The only way my strategy works, the 3-stop, is if I hold off Alonso and Hamilton all the way to lap 26 for my 2nd stop. Encountering our first bit of lapped traffic. And it is Marcus Ericsson down in 20th. It means we've had another retirement. And the retirement is Pascal Wehrlein, which means both Williams out of the race at their home Grand Prix. So really disappointing weekend for Frank Williams and the rest of the team. Thankfully, it seems that Hamilton is dropping pace pretty quickly with 3 seconds ahead of him. So it's only Alonso we need to worry about on this stint. And Nico Rosberg popping in the fastest lap for Red Bull. Rosberg... He's setting fastest laps at this stage. Maybe he's had a 2nd pit stop already. Or maybe he's just really, really quick for some reason. Once again, Rosberg fastest lap. He's currently in 7th place, fighting his way through the field. So maybe the Red Bull of Rosberg is going to be a factor in the top 5 battle. His teammate Vettel in 4th right now, about 10 seconds ahead of him on track. 13 laps into this stint, the tyres still feeling pretty good. I think we can make this 3-stop work. If it's not for 1st place, I think we can definitely get a podium at least. Just like in a few other races this year, Hamilton just falling off as the races progressed. He is about 6.5 seconds behind the leader now. In fact, he's fallen off so much that now Vettel and Raikkonen are on his tail, fighting for that 3rd place. As we start lap 26, we're boxing at the end of this one for another set of the primes. The state of play at the moment, I think we are in the fight for 2nd. I think Alonso is probably going to end up winning. We're creating a tyre offset each stint, so we're going to be very, very quick for the few laps after my pit stop compared to some of the AI who are going to be on these tyres, whatever tyres they're on right now, for another 4, 5, 6 laps. And on the end of lap 26, we're into the pits for another set of the prime tyres, boxing from 1st place. There's a massive train of cars behind Hamilton that stretches down to 6th place as we're just about to rejoin. And we'll rejoin in 9th position on the fresh prime tyres. And right now the gap to the car ahead is Perez. That's 7.4 seconds. And I imagine that's going to come down very quickly. And that's the fastest lap of the race, a 34.6. We're gaining on Perez by over 2 seconds a lap. Quicker and quicker each lap. We are setting the pace. The race pace is being set right now by James Early. Only in 9th place. But I'm sure that'll improve as the laps tick down. I'm surprised to see not many AI, or not any at all, actually try the 3-stop strategy. I think maybe it's because you lose quite a lot of time in the pit lane here. Unlike a track like Spa, where you only lose maybe 15 seconds, I think you lose closer to 25 seconds in the pits here. That's Perez round the outside of, I think that's got to be Nico. No, it's not Nico Rosberg. I think it's Will Power. Round the outside goes Perez through Stowe Corner. Very bold move. And once again, Power just struggling with race pace. His qualifying pace so far this year has been astonishing in parts, especially the Canadian Grand Prix, where he qualified, I think it was up in 3rd place. We're essentially fighting at the pack that goes all the way up to 2nd place, so I've almost made the pit stop up. And Will Power, as long as he doesn't have DRS, should be there for the taking. The Marussia driver on for some more points today. And James Early is going to elevate himself up to 8th. And there are also drivers in the pits on the end of lap 31. So I think we'll be back up inside the top 5 at least. That's Verstappen, Vettel, Alonso also into the pits. And Alonso rejoins in 6th place. I can see his teammate Hamilton in 3rd. Hamilton has almost fallen a pit stop behind his teammate in that middle stint. So right now it's Raikkonen 1st, Rosberg 2nd. They've both made it through on Hamilton. Hamilton's in 3rd, followed by Perez and Early in 5th place. I think both of these drivers on the prime tyres, that might suggest that they are going to extend this stint. Perez to the outside of Hamilton, Early to the inside. It's 3 wide down the back straight. And into Stowe Corner we go. Can Early find his way through on both drivers? Perez is fighting this one, fighting it hard as well. And he stays ahead. He gets ahead of Hamilton, stays ahead of Early. And Hamilton down to 5th. And that's Rosberg into the pits. So we are now up to 3rd. Perez is having a great season. He's proving to be quite quick as well on these worn prime tyres. We're both pulling away from Hamilton. And we're going to pass Perez here. We tried it on the previous lap down here. This time, though, it's a much better opportunity. We do have the outside line, but it should be enough to get through. And we do. We move up to 2nd. So it is a Lotus 1-2 for the 2nd race running. Raikkonen leading Early by 5 seconds. Vettel 33.8 on his fresh tyres. That is about 7/10 of a lap quicker than me right now. The top 4 all need to box again, with Alonso in 5th and Vettel in 6th. They're both going to the end of this race. Well, at least I think they're going to the end of this race. They are on the prime tyres. It would make sense. Who knows? With the tyre delta in the final stint, we'll have fresh option tyres. And the leaders, Alonso, maybe even Vettel, might still be ahead of us by that point. They'll be on worn prime tyres. If the tyre delta is big enough, we could still fight for victory today. 2.2 to Raikkonen, regaining by a couple seconds per lap. I imagine the Finn will be into the pits on lap 37. That's my guess. Vettel's just setting another fastest lap of the race. I'm now worried it's going to be Alonso 1st, Vettel 2nd in this race, and Early trundling home in 3rd. We're caught at the back of Kimi Raikkonen, the teammate. The 2 Lotus drivers are going to be battling for the lead of this race. And it's going to be a very easy contest as through goes early into the race lead. And that's Raikkonen now into the pits on the end of lap 36. So my prediction of 37 wasn't too far off. Sergio Perez, though, stays out. Vettel getting quicker and quicker each lap. Alonso now up to 3rd place because Hamilton's gone into the pits as well. And I have about a 9-second gap back to Fernando Alonso. And about an 11-second gap back to Sebastian Vettel. And that's Perez into the pits. So it'll be early Alonso, Vettel, the top 3 as we're now on lap 38. I'm thinking, because we have those fresh option tyres, they could probably do 12 laps. We could box at the end of lap 40 instead of lap 42, which was originally planned. I think we'd still have a sizable tyre delta over Alonso and Vettel, who are on the primes. And that's my personal best lap of the race, a 34.2. Still about 8 tenths down on what Alonso and Vettel is setting. But that's much better than what I was doing before. I'm actually faster than Alonso at this stage. Incredible. Vettel, though, is only 1 second behind Alonso, and those two are going to start battling. I did consider getting these tyres to the end of the race, but I don't think I'll be able to do it. So I am committed to that 3-stop strategy. It's lap 40. We're going to box at the end of this one for the brand new option tyres. As we pit on the end of lap 40 from 1st place for the option tyres. Now the battle is on. Both Alonso and Vettel, they've got a bit of traffic in front of them. And I think we're just about rejoining in 3rd. It might be 4th place, though. Rejoining now. Rosberg somewhere on the left-hand side. There he is. Under braking into turn 3. Rosberg's got that 3rd place, but we're on the option tyres. We'll be able to get it right back. And down towards Stowe corner. DRS wide open, and that's an easy move for early. He moves back up into side the podium places. And we'll put it in rich mix for a few laps. Let's get the fastest lap of the race as we try and put pressure on the top 2. So the gap right now, 13.8 to Vettel, so about 14.8 to Alonso. And I think this will smash the fastest lap. It is a 32.3. It's 11.6 to Vettel now. We are gaining by 1.5 seconds, maybe even 2 seconds a lap. We've just got to be careful not to push these tyres too much, because the option tyres, they didn't last long in that first stint, and I imagine they're not going to last too long in this final stint. The gap is now under 10 seconds. I did say they're encountering traffic, which is a factor in this closing speed. And another fastest lap, close to the 131s. This is reminiscent of Canada in the last episode, where Alonso and Vettel were so busy fighting each other, they didn't pay attention to James early storming through the field. Could it be a repeat? Could we score a victory here today? The gap 7 seconds as we go across the line. We have about 7 laps to go. 5.4 to Vettel now as the gap continues to come down. I think we've gone past most of the traffic. 2.3 to Vettel. I can see him in the distance. He's right on the back of Alonso, unable to make a move. And we're going to have 5 laps to decide this race. Is it going to be Alonso, Vettel or James early? And that's the state of the tyres with those 5 laps to go. They're okay. They're going to still be okay by the end of this race. I completely forgot going into this race I had not put a new engine in the car. So that probably explains why the gearing is so long. The acceleration is not quite where it should be. Oh, Stevens, which way are you moving, mate? Right, that was almost a crash. And that should be the last of the traffic before the conclusion of this Grand Prix. 1.3 to Vettel. We don't even need to look at the gap now in the top left. We can see the gap in the centre of the screen. We've been treated to some fantastic races so far this year, including that incredible finish in Canada. And this one is, well, shaping up to be equally as incredible as we're almost within DRS range. This is going to be our first opportunity on the run out of the Maggotts Beckett's Chapel complex and down towards Stowe corner. DRS wide open and we move past Sebastian Vettel. Maybe a little look to the inside of Alonso at the end of the straight. And Alonso just cuts the front of my car off and holds on to the lead. We have 3 laps to go. Oh, look, Vettel around the outside. There's contact there. It forces early wide. That's going to compromise my exit out of this corner. Sebastian Vettel putting his car where it really doesn't belong. As we're purple in Sector 1, we are pushing as hard as possible to get the lead away from Alonso. Oh, we got such a... Oh, he's lifted! What's he done that for? Fernando Alonso lifting. I've got a penalty. Vettel's going to take the lead. And Alonso retiring from the race. We're going to have to box to repair the front wing. And in we go to repair the front. What the heck just happened there? I think Alonso had a failure on his car. Slammed on the brakes. Caught me off guard. And it's gifted Vettel the victory here. Absolutely huge drama at this stage of the season. I feel that's going to be costly towards the end of this year. We're going to have to salvage what we can from the final couple of laps of this one as we rejoin in 8th place. We do have that penalty as well, so I'm not sure if we'll even score points here. As we're about to start the final lap of the race, should be a nice routine move on Max Verstappen. And it is down the main straight. The shock of the moment, I didn't even see what penalty we got. I hope it's only 10 seconds. If it's anything more, yeah, we won't be in the points. Sebastian Vettel wins. How has he cheesed his way to victory there? Can't believe it. As we round the final corner for the final time, it's going to be 7th place on the road. And what could have been? It could have been a victory. And it was a 20-second time penalty. It means we finish in 9th. Vettel winning and Rosberg in 2nd. It's a Red Bull 1-2 with Raikkonen completing the podium. Perez ahead of Hamilton. Then it's Will Power, Max Verstappen, Magnussen early, and Sainz scoring the points. Both Ferraris yet again missing out on points. Then it's the 2 Benettons. And the Marussia Will Stevens also getting a penalty. And then it's Gutierrez, Van Dorn, Nasser, and Ericsson. 3 retirements. Fernando Alonso, their big name, out of the race today. Pascal Wehrlein 21st and his teammate Bottas in 22nd. And the championship has taken a huge hit. We're 47 points off leader Sebastian Vettel now, and Fernando Alonso 28 points behind Vettel as well. Raikkonen is actually pretty close to me. He's only 12 points behind. Such a disappointing way to end that race. And Red Bull now leading the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes 2nd and Lotus slipped to 3rd position. McLaren have made it past 100 points scored for the season. Thanks for watching, everybody. What a fantastic and crazy end to that race. If you enjoyed that one, make sure to like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And I'll see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.